Hey, it's Andy from Swampy's Autos. Just to let you have a brief intro to the video that you're about to see. I picked up a Renault Clio 1.5. It's from a friend of mine who lives in Georgia, not the one in America, the one near Russia. He has wanted the car off his hands for a little while. It's not in the best of shape. We've already had to replace both rear discs and pads. The pads were completely missing on one side of the vehicle, making it basically undrivable. Picked the vehicle up on the back of the flatbed, took it over to Simon, and you'll see some of the work that we did there to remove the wheel nuts, the locking wheel nuts from that vehicle. We're going to be doing some further work to do more with the brakes. The front tyres need replacing. There are some issues inside the car with the internal temperature sensor and the rain sensor, which is going to need replacing. Hopefully we can still manage to turn a profit from a friend. We can sell the vehicle after we've done the repairs. Hopefully you'll be able to see some details of what's happening. Just made it to Simon's. We're going to try and get these wheel nuts off this Clio. It belongs to a client of mine, and we're going to use some welding and try and weld on some nuts to see if we can get the wheel nuts off.
With your groinal attachment.
I'm about to use my groinal attachment. It's not recording at the moment.
Unfortunately, my MIG welder is only a small hobby machine. It's only really suitable for welding steel a couple of millimeters thick. However, this has got to be worth a try. And now for the moment of truth. Suffice to say, that did not quite go to plan.
That doesn't look great. The central bit has already gone. Not sure if that's going to... I think that just tells you how much force they were using to put it on.
Yeah.
We actually tried to weld the nut on 3 times. None of the welds were strong enough, so I decided to clean up the wheel bolt and try something different. I was trying to turn the bolt with the hammer and chisel, not a chance. As the hammer and chisel failed dismally, I hoped I would have more luck by hammering on a socket. The plan was to crush the outer rotating part of the security bolt against the inner part, and then the whole thing would turn as one piece.
Did it knackers the ring? You never know. You can break the ring by just repeating it.
This is help, Will.
Okay, so
There we go.
okay, I've got a loose ring.
That also didn't work, so we decided to weld the outer part of the bolt to the inner. Okay.
Then you can bring it straight on. Yeah. Right. How about that? Success.
Okay.
Let's get the
Now get that out of that socket.
I'll take that.
Very good. Oh, it's going to fall hard. Hello. Job's a good one.
How about that?
So that's the technique now then.
It's an hour later that same afternoon and we've moved down to Swampy's place. He mentioned in his intro that he's already done some work on the brakes. So far he has changed the disc and pads on the other side of the rear of the car, so now for the offside.
Yeah, it's leaking brake fluid everywhere.
Goody.
Excellent. My favourite. Get a set. They're amazing. They're long enough. They're basically long enough for you to actually get into stuff. Oh, and now it's coming undone. I've put that.
Duck oil. Duck oil. Duck oil. Duck oil.
Put duck oil. Oh, the hole. In fact, there we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh.
That's the brake caliper removed.
What a mess. Yeah, there's not a lot left of them.
No.
Crispy.
Yeah. Bendy, crispy.
How many? And that's the brake caliper carrier removed.
Or a bit bigger.
No, a bit
Which,
bigger.
which cap are we talking about?
This cap here is just
Oh,
a,
right. Gotcha.
I mean, so-
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the other. Just saying how thin that disc is.
Oh yeah, they're totally screwed. Nowhere near where they should be. No, look, and it should just fall off. Hopefully.
Perfect. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's it. That's there.
We were struggling to wind the piston back into the caliper, so bolted the carrier back on temporarily,
Okay, no,
although we
nothing like
actually
that.
didn't
Such
use
thin
it in the
threads.
end.
Somewhere. Who knows where? Nonetheless.
Just do that. Yeah. Big difference.
Stand there. On. Sitting there waiting for it.
this. I'll go and grab some spanners.
There we go. The full spread from 13 to 15. I think they're slightly thinner than. Right.
Yeah.
Handbrake off.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Go on then. Pump that a few times. Yeah, let go.
That's the discs and pads replaced on both sides of the rear of the car. The next job is to get the handbrake working properly, as it's ineffective currently. There are two cables between the handbrake and the calipers, one for each side. They should both move smoothly, but we can see that one doesn't move.
How does the cable feel? There's a fiddle to get to. Here we go.
Is the mechanism wanting to spring on its own?
No, although it moved ever so slightly, but right, gears releasing.
Do you turn it now?
After lubrication and working it for a while, the mechanism started to free up.
Can you see it moving on the pads now?
Okay, it's free at the moment. Handbrake on, okay. Freed up a little bit, but not enough. I can just turn it, but it's not turning as well as it should. Right, that's obviously on at the moment. No.
The lever ever so slightly forward, and then
Yeah.
it came loose. I think it's
Alright. Yeah. Okay.
It's not perfect, but it's much better. The handbrake isn't releasing completely yet, but once the duck oil has had a bit of time to soak in and do its job, we think it will be fine.
Right. It's working nicely, it's just whether it's coming back far enough on it. So. Hopefully you can see this clearly. This was the state of the rear offside spring.
Brake pads are excellent, and there is just some surface rust on the disc from lack of use.
worn on the sidewall, which suggests it's been driven around a lot while it's been flat. Not that that really matters.
Oh yeah.
Integral to the body of the tyres.
Mm-hmm.
But it's where. Yeah, it's literally through to the cords.
Yep.
Really bad.
Don't see tyres that bad that often, do you?
No, although we don't see those either that often.
Run, 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 run. Again, the pads are okay on this as well.
Morning, Ratty. Morning. How are you doing? pretty good.
Hello, Ratty. Hello.
Ratty, how you going? Very good, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Morning, Ratty. You're not saying anything, Ratty. What's going on? Oh, you're a rubbish Clio, not an actual rat. I've got a really interesting problem to look at on the Clio today. I'm going to try and fix the rain sensor and temperature sensor that look like they have been completely ripped off from the connectors. I've got the connectors here. Let's have a look. Should be down there. Yeah, I've managed to separate this small piece of the old ribbon cable from there and the 2 pins, and separate the pins from the connector. So hopefully we can solder the ribbon cable back on there. I don't think the crimp connector that was on there is going to work anymore. And then we can try and get the temperature sensor working. Then I'm going to have to try and have a look and see whether we can get the rain sensor to work. The connection up there is a bit of a mess. Hopefully you can see that. That should hopefully stop some of the errors that are coming up on the dashboard. There's some electrical faults being reported, partly for the rain sensor itself and the internal temperature sensor for the climate control. And I think partly the automatic lights are also being affected by the unavailability of the rain sensor in the CAN bus. I've now marked the top of the cable so I know which way around to put it when I connect it back to the connectors. I've now taken a razor blade, and I don't know whether you can see, but I've cut the end of the ribbon cable and started to remove some of the outer plastic from it to get to the copper underneath, so I can solder this back onto the connector. Definitely not my neatest soldering job ever, but I think that should manage to go back into the holder properly for the connector, and then we'll see whether the temperature sensor now works. So I'm going to have a look now. I've got the Autel Maxidaz DS808, which I happened to find on eBay. Seems to work for what I need it to do. I'm going to have a look at the mirror, which has got the sensor built into it. I think it's on the top here. Yeah, there it is, sitting on the top. I'm going to retest the car without the sensor connected, deliberately, just to try and make sure that we've still got the issue. And then I'll plug it back in, see if we've got a problem, and we'll go from there. So I've got the car running. I'm going to use the device. You can run through this, do the diagnosis with a full auto scan. And we can go through. We'll see what other issues we've got with the vehicle. We've currently got 3 on the ignition module, which is quite interesting. Let's have a look at those later on. So the air conditioning fault. The internal temperature sensor circuit is faulty. Okay, so I've got this plugged back in now. I'm going to see what happens. Just erase the codes that were in memory. I'm going to reread the codes, see what we've got now. All signals. So the internal temperature is reading around 27 degrees now, which I think, looking at today's weather and how hot I feel sitting in this car, that is probably about right. So that's an excellent little fix for that part. Now on to the next bit. I've got to try and fix this pesky rain sensor back onto the end of this pesky cable. I've got the rain sensor off. I'm going to have a look here. I think what we're going to do is solder onto each of these individual points with an individual piece of wire. That'll mean that I only have to do one solder joint on each of these, and I don't have to try and do it while it's up here, hanging up high, where I have to keep holding my hands up to try and deal with it, and I've got nothing to clamp anything together with. That way we can try and join them up together. I'll give that a go now. I have to do it off camera. It's going to be really fiddly. I've only got 2 hands. I haven't got a hand to hold the camera, unfortunately. I'll give it a go, and we'll see how we get on. Now I've effectively got 3 nice fly leads that are coming off this, so hopefully we'll be able to solder that back on. So those 3 will basically go onto there, and then we can check to see whether that works. Got this all soldered on now, not looking too bad. Fingers crossed now. Start the car up and see whether the rain sensor works again. Let's give this a scan now. Okay, let's stop the vehicle, restart it. See whether we get the same issue. So it looks like we've managed to clear that code. Yep, doesn't look like that code has come back. That's excellent. Let's get these bits put back together. We can see whether everything's still working, and we'll do another scan after that. I'm going to give this a go now, see what happens when we squirt some water on there. Oh, that's excellent. Brilliant. Continuous rain. There we go. Excellent. Not perfect, but these rain sensors are never absolutely perfect. I think it's got some adjustment to allow you to change the sensitivity as well, and it's on minimum at the moment, so that does seem to be working. That's fantastic. Also need to check these lights to make sure that the automatic lights are working. They're currently off. Let's see what happens. Put my hand over the sensor. Alright. And we'll come back. The lights have now turned on and turned off again. Fantastic, that seems to be working as well.